Can we start? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to everyone. First of all, I would like to welcome you all to this session, which is why I choose IIUM. My name is Khairul Amirin bin Samsudin, your MC for this session. To begin this session with blessings of Allah SWT, I would like to call upon Brother Muhammad Darul Naim bin Abdul Muttalib, the Vice President 2 of Language Student Society, for the recitation of dua. Please, Sultan.
and the welfare of our body. O Allah, Lord of the implementing authority, make the days that we have gone through, starting with your mercy, continue with your blessing and righteous guidance, ended with your forgiveness. Make the days that we have gone through, spent in your obedience, adorn us with the adornment of the righteous and clothe us with the ornament of the peace in spreading good behavior, lowering the wing of humility, beauty of conduct, advancing towards excellence, avoiding condemnation, being gracious to the undeserving, speaking truth, talk bitter. Ya Allah, Ya Muhaymin, Ya Aziz, Ya Jabbar, let our efforts as a means to enlighten and convince ourselves that your personal safety of either outer or inner is a prerequisite for achieving happiness and excellence in various fields. O Allah, grant us faith and strength in order to face the challenges of life during these needy yet troubling times and in the face of life in this new norm. Ya Allah, Ya Farij al-Ham, Ya Kashif al-Gham, Ya Man li'abdihi, Yaghfir wa Yarham. O Allah, show us guidance and adjust our path and ways to achieve happiness and glory. Let us listen to people who like to good things. Let us avoid doing the bad and evil things. O Allah, bless our life in the gathering and prevent us from harm and unfortunate events. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا أتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. تقبل الله منكم.
Amin, amin, ya Rabbal Alamin. Thank you, Brother Naim, for the dua recitations. So, before we start this session, I would like to introduce both of our speakers today. First, we have Brother Zaim Nur. He is an alumni of Center for Foundation Studies IIUM in the Foundation of Laws, and currently further his studies in the Bachelor of Laws in IIUM. For your information, Brother Zaim Nur is one of the IIUM Student Union. Next, we have Madam Nur Hafizah Saidins, which is also one of the alumni of IIUM, and currently she is a matriculation lecturer who teach mathematics at CFS IIUM. So it's such a great honor for me to have Brother Zaim Nur and Madam Nur Hafizah to be with us today. How are you, Brother Zaim and Madam Nur Hafizah?
Alhamdulillah, doing well.
Have both of you received the COVID-19 vaccination?
Yes, Alhamdulillah,
completed. Alhamdulillah. So today, as we know, we are going to have some sharing session from both of our speakers today on the topic why I choose IIUM. Basically, today we just want to share about our experience as the ex-student of Center for Foundation Studies IIUM to the newcomers or new students of CFS IIUM. When we become a university student, we are entering a new world as our life are not going to be the same as our life during the secondary or primary school. When we talk about university, it must be taking in our minds some of the universities that are indeed popular in our country. That's why we need a good decisions because we need to make a good decision because we are the one who create and decide our path. So I would like to ask Brother Zaim No, how and why did you enter IIUM in the first place? Which means you choose IIUM. Can you share it with us?
Okay, Assalamualaikum. First and foremost, thank you very much to our STMC and my panel speaker, Madam Hafiza. And I am very much honored and delighted to be invited by the Center for Foundation Studies, my forever most memorable alma mater. Okay, in regards to your first question, actually, entering to IIM is an easy option for me. Alhamdulillah, I believe that I'm in the position of privilege, being given a wide of options and opportunities to skim through all of my options before filling the UPU system. And actually, going into the CFS itself, I entered the CFS through the UP system, like most of the students, the new intake students. And why IIUM? I believe the main reason is because I pursued what my mom told me. My mom said that, okay, Abang, I believe that if it's possible for you to just stay in the line of the Islamic institution, okay, because I come from the Islamic school background. So she believed that she want me to sustain in whatever way of the Islamic knowledge that I've acquired during my time. And from there, I believe from the barakah of my family, do and everything, and my own efforts, Allah has paved my way into CFS. And for taking law, I've consulted my uncle and also a few other people. They said that, okay, in Malaysia, there's actually 3 top schools for taking law. So among that time would be UKM, IIUM, and also UM. And at that time, coming from my uncle who has experience in IIM, so I believe that it runs in my blood lah to be an alumni of IIM also. And why there's not much at the beginning lah, why I enter IIM, because it mainly because of 2 reasons. First, because of my mom's wishes, and second, because I believe IIM is the good place for taking law. Yeah, that's from me.
Thank you, Brother Zaim. Same goes to me. When we fill up the UPU systems, there are some options for me, which is where IIUM, CFSIM, we also have UUM, we also have UITM. I also got offered from the YTP Mara, GPA, and the Petronas. But why I choose IIUM? It's the same with you because I come from the Islamic school and we want to sustain the surrounding of Islam, right? So how about you, Madam Nur Hafiza? Why you choose IIUM to further your study?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I want to thank all the steering committees of the Aruf Week. Thank you, our moderator, Brother Cairo Amirin, for your information. I have known Brother Cairo from last semester. For your information, he is one of our frontliners, volunteer for students under quarantine. So it's good to have you back. Secondly, it's an honor to be one of the panelist partner with my student also, Brother Zaim. Back then in 2018, so he's in CFS during that time. So during that time, we always organize program together. He's a very active student. So you are very honored to have him today. And last but not least, welcome aboard to all of you, CFS IUM students for the batch 2021 and 22. So if no one has mentioned to you before, let me be the first one to mention to you that among 85,000 students who applied to CFS IUM, you're among the chosen one. You're among the 3,700 students who were accepted as CFS IUM students. Okay, so I want to congratulate you for that. Since I'm a math lecturer, let's do a big calculation here. 3,700 out of 85,000. If you times with 100%, that is just 4.4%. You're among the blessed one, 4.4%. Who accepted to enter CFS IUM. So congratulations. Okay, why did I choose to enter IIUM? Let me be a bit dramatic here. It's the opposite of the story of Brother Kai and also Brother Zain. For your information, I came from a non-Islamic school. I grew up in Sabah. During that time, my father was an army, so he was posted to Sabah. So for your information, hi Sabah students. Okay, so for your information, back then, I think in 2001, okay, back then there were minimum Islamic school, Islamic secondary school in Sabah. Okay, I don't know what's the current situation now, but back then there were minimum number of Islamic secondary school. We have one boarding school, I think, SMKA Kota Kinabalu. But the story goes back where my family didn't want to send their children to boarding school, so I cannot enter that school. So in my heart, I wish to encounter, to live in a journey of Islamic school. That's why it's my dream to join IIUM, where we know it is an Islamic university. So my previous secondary school was SMK St. Patrick. So as you know, if I mention the word St. Patrick, it is associated with the church, St. Patrick Church. So during the assembly, my principal at that time, Guru Besar principal, she will go up to the stage during assembly and read the dua, the prayer. So what else? During Pendidikan Islam, during Islamic studies, we have minimum of Islamic students in my class. There are just 6 of us. So during that time, we need to go out from the class because the rest of them will take in moral studies. Okay, so with all the experience in my heart, I wish to encounter an Islamic school, Islamic university, so that I can live with the journey of Islamic studies. So Alhamdulillah, I got to experience it in IUM. So there were no keturunan adik-adik daripada IUM. No, there's no such thing. And another one, another interesting story, why I choose IIUM. Back then, I didn't survey like Brother Zaim said, right? He surveyed which university is the best. That time, I just go with my emotion. Okay, back then I was a debater in school. So during that time, IUM is very famous to be the top winner of world-class debater. So based on that statement, I choose IUM because I want to enter law. Obviously, debater is associated with law. I want to choose IUM and want to enter as a law student. So Alhamdulillah, I entered IUM as a law student. But why did I become a maths lecturer now? Because finally I found out that law was not my passion. Okay, after I entered, I realized that law was not my passion, and on top of that, I didn't become a debater. Okay, so let's continue that story later. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Rafiza. I agree with you that when we want to further our study in degree, there are some students think that the past course is not their passion anymore, right? So there are some people think that IIUM is just a place for the student that come from Islamic surrounding, but it doesn't true at all, because at IIUM we also have the student that did not come from Islamic surrounding, right? And why IIUM is the best place for you to further your studies, because the surrounding itself that can help us to nurture ourselves with the Islamic nature and Islamic etiquette. And next, when we become a university student, there must be one most memorable moment during our study time. So I would like to ask Madam Nur Hafiza, would you mind to share with us one of your most memorable memory in UIA, in IIUM?
The most memorable memory. Let me say hello to all the students from YouTube channel. I read some of the comment and some of you mentioned that SMK St. Patrick memang bagus. Yes, that's why my family put me in that school, okay, despite the associated with St. Patrick and so on. Okay, so let me continue. So Brother Kai asked what was the most memorable moment throughout your study in IUM. So actually I need to think hard because you said the most memorable. I cannot mention the 1001 memorable moment, just one moment, right? So let me mention the one thing that most memorable journey throughout it is my Islamic journey. Okay, it is continuation of that story as what I told you before. So, but the Islamic journey that I go through is an Islamic culture shock. Okay, I think all of you have here before, when you enter a new place, you will have a cultural shock, right? But my cultural shock is more into Islamic cultural shock because I never encountered an Islamic surrounding. So it started from the Ta'aruf week. Okay, so the culture shock came to me during the Ta'aruf week, but that was the most memorable one. Okay, let me share you a few points. The first one, we have tilawah placement test back then during my time. Okay, so I know that this time around, some of you need to take English placement test, right? But not all of you, some of you. And you do need to take Arabic placement test, but I need to take it. It is compulsory. On top of that, we have tilawah placement test. I never have someone who's listened to my recitation and grade me, you know. So it's a very shocking things for me. That's the first thing. Second one, all events will start with Al-Fatiha. So I never encountered that before. So for me, it's a nice thing. And I learned that we want to gain the barakah from Allah. So we want to start with Kitab Al-Fatiha. Okay, that's not the most shocking one. The most shocking one is the next one. We end all events with Tasbih Kafarah and Suratul As. So when the first time I heard that, I didn't know what is Tasbih Kafarah. Okay, so I think all of you with Islamic background, you know what's that. But I didn't know. So the MC will say, let's end with Tasbih Kafarah and Suratul As. And I hear the wave of shh, like that. So I didn't know what to recite and I'm a bit embarrassed. And later on, I learned that Tasbih Kafarah is the lafaz Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. So kafara here means to close. So Rasulullah SAW encouraged us in the hadith to close all of our event recitation of Tasbih Kafara so that all of our sins will be forgiven. So that's the lafaz of istighfar in it, okay? And while us also, so we learned that we need to appreciate about the time. So we always recite Al-As at the end of the event, okay? And on top of that, we have Al-Ma'thurat recitation. So of course, I never heard about it before, so it's a bit culture shock for me. So during the Araf week, we need to pray congratulation prayer, okay? So let's bersama. So in the morning and evening, we need to recite Al-Ma'thurat. So it's a bit depressing for me because I didn't know how to recite it, and everyone is reciting very fluently. Laju tau. We are given Ma'thurat, but I cannot catch up. I don't know what are they reading. Okay, so Alhamdulillah later on. We learn slowly and the journey continues. We learn how to cover our aura properly. There comes the hand sock, comes the stockings and so on. And we have religious subject, we have tilawah class, we have study circle, usra. So all of you will experience that after this. So I hope all of you will have a pleasant journey, okay? So I think you will not get this type of experience. Okay, I think you will not this type of experience other than at CFS IIUM. So I wish you all the best for your Islamic journey.
Yes, that's true, madam. Because there are some things in CFS IIM that are not the same with the other universities. Just like madam said, how we open the ceremony, how we open the session, we open the class with Al-Fatiha, with the dua recitation, and we end it with the Tasbih Kafarah and Surah Al-As. And here, CFS, we have religious subject and we have societies, especially the religious societies that can help us to nurture ourselves with the Islamic nature. And furthermore, when when we become a university student, our life is not the same with our school because, especially for the student that come from the Islamic school, during that particular time, there will be anyone will ask you, hey, jom pergi solat, jom kita pergi join usrah semua. But here it depends on us, on how we want to manage our time, on how we want to manage our life, whether or not we want to participate with the Islamic surrounding. And how about Brother Zaim? There must be a very memorable moment for you, especially we are boys, right? So there must be a memory for you that you really miss it.
Okay, thank you, Carol. I think like initially I share a lot of sentiments and moments with Madam Hafizah where it would not bring justice if we say that one moment is going to be the best moment of it all, right? Okay, before I proceed to my points, I would like to welcome to the brothers and sisters from the YouTube, especially whether you're local, you're international, wherever you are. We truly hope that you have a pleasant day today, and it's really early in the morning. So I truly understand the sentiment early in the morning, and wake up and everything. Okay, nevertheless, memorable moment, I think I can categorize it into one general statement, which is the moment where I meet, greet, seek knowledge, and learn new things from many people. And actually, it all stems to 4 points, I would say. The first point would be uh, I was a really active student during my CFS. I was the president for the Mahala. I was the president for the student coordination committee. I was the program manager for most major programs in CFS. I went to abroad during my last year in CFS, which is my first international CSR with the Kuantan campus. And it all comes down to the moment where I was appointed by our late, by our former dean and also former deputy director of student development, which is Associate Professor Dr. Syamsul Jamili, where we call him Walid. It's an interesting story actually. During that time, if you want to enter the student coordination committee, you have to go to the interview. So to enter the interview, you have to bring the capacity of a certain president of a certain society. So by then I was the president of Mahala Abu Bakar, which is from PJ campus, and yeah, I had a wonderful life in PJ. Honestly, it was the best moment in my life, the whole year in CFS. So back in CFS PJ too, I still remember that I still standing, I still sitting at the outside of the room waiting for my turn. And when my turn is called, and at that time I think there was Brother Alizi with me, was a member of the SEC also. And when I entered the hall with meeting with the main administration of the CFS back then, Dr. Azmi and a few other people of the administration, he after the interview, Dr. Shamsu tu, he gave me a piece of hadith. He said that the hadith as it goes by, he said there's 3 points. Solat al-Fatihah, which means pray early. And second, biru walidain, he said that do good to your parents. And third would be something that revolves around do good things to other people also. And stemming from that, and apart from, I also assure that I would bring some changes coming to administration. And bear in mind at that time, I do not have any leadership skills at all coming to CFS, especially when given the position. And after the interview session, when he gave me that piece of hadith, and I went out, I had a long time of wondering my life, how I want to shape my life after that. And honestly, it also comes down to the story before I went into CFS. So coming from the Islamic school, actually, I think I was an active student only 10%. And that time I was only active in the leadership stuff like the head of dormitory and everything. So coming to CFS, I have this notion where, okay, Zaim, coming to CFS, you have, I tell myself, Zaim, you have to be relevant, you have to make a change to yourself, and you have to start something new, a new version of myself. So the only version that I bring from my previous school, the SPM, the UPSR, everything would be, my school life is only like 10%, I would say that. And it all comes down to that one night where I just sat down in the middle of the field. I said that to myself, okay, what's next for my life? Because that time I need to apply for certain application for to be a member of my Mahala representative committee. So it was a really sudden moment. Apart from I have this enthusiasm and competition to compete with certain of my friends. So having that notion of to be the best version of myself would be among the memorable moments. And among other notable moments, I would say being in the position of high leadership, I would say in the capacity as a leader of the campus, leader of the CFS and whatnot, it gives me a certain opportunities and position for me to enlarge my networkings and learn on the job, especially in terms of project management, leadership, and critical thinking. And I learned it everything on the job with less knowledge back before I went into the job during my Ta'aruf week, my first international CSR to Cambodia, medically at the medical team. I also went to Jogja. I also went to certain other places where in the end, I realized that it is really important for us to set that to set or to establish what kind of person that you want to be, especially in your foundation years. And I truly believe that if you don't start now, if you don't see right now the means to work your way into this field, you will never start. So I just throw myself in the field of okay, what to do. I just mingle around with certain people and I gain the exposure and Alhamdulillah I have the access to many other things. And having been participated okay, my last point would be having participated in the big programs like Ta'aruf Week and Ops Pulang and Language Week and everything too. It kind of shapes me of who I am right now. Person that I truly believe interest in volunteerism. I believe that every people should be given access to education, access to many other things for people, more people to be empowered, and especially the new intake students for you to have that true sense of purpose, even if it's online, to for you to find what you want to do, how can you impact yourself and contribute more to the society. So these are the things that life existential things that you have to start thinking from right now. And believe me, no matter where you start, even the last CFS, SEM, wherever you start, it is still important, it's still valid. At least you start. So just get the ball rolling and find yourself and shape yourself from there. I think there are sums up like most memorable moment for me lah. And being in CFS, I've gained a lot honestly, and it's time for me to like being given this platform for everyone here to understand that why it is important for us as IIM students for you to have that sense of purpose and how can you contribute yourself to the community. Okay, that's all.
Thank you, Brother Zaim. So I agree with you. Apart from we want to achieve the success in our exam, leadership skills is also important in ourselves because we know there are some people said aku tak nak masuk bidang leadership, aku tak minat. But it is a kind of an obligation for us to train the leadership skills in ourselves because being a leader doesn't mean you put all the burden on your shoulder because you have your team. So from that you can improve your leadership skills, right? But it doesn't matter if we fail to solve the problem, if we fail to have the critical thinking in solving the problem, at least we try it, we started it. But we know it can be denied during this current situation, the pandemic of COVID-19. We don't have so much memorable moments that we can experience, and we cannot meet our new friends face to face. But we really hope that the atmosphere of campus life dream of by all students will return to normal. because we know in university, from that we can experience, we participate in the leadership, we can become no matter what position that you choose, president or bureau also, it can help you to improve your leadership skills. And next, I would like to ask Brother Zaim, what is the most challenging time or decision that you made as a student? The most challenging,
Challenging time, eh? Okay, I think
challenging time or
before
decision.
I address this question, I believe that maybe some of the students, they cannot fully grasp the points that I give, like, because it's solely based on my experience. But at least I hope I can give a little bit of exposure and try to make the context understand to where I am being, to who I am right now, like maybe. So the challenging time, I believe, it comes part and parcel of being an active student, you know. And I think I can categorize it between four main things. So first is going to be academic for sure. You come to CFS, you come to universities to study. That's the main priority. Second would be co-curriculum. So when the academic is the top priority, doesn't mean that co-curriculum need to be second. So third would be family and friends. I think this by far something that I'm currently struggling with. And fourth would be health. Okay, so I think for academic, being an IIM student, especially an active student, you really have to set your bar, your achievement really rational, really suits to yourself, you know. So because in the end, it comes down to that one statement that you cannot win it all, you cannot success in everything. So you have to plan yourself, you compromise in certain things, and perhaps, okay, let's say personally, my goal right now for academic is to graduate with a 3.5 or 3.4, 3.2 even, because I truly believe that to what extent my capacity. And apart from that, like in co-curriculum, if you want to say about challenging time to make decision, especially being in a position of power, I would say is that you have to make split second decision by considering every stakeholders in the community. So last time back in Ta'aruf Week, okay, for me, Ta'aruf Week is something that is really special for me because I've been into 4 to 5 Ta'aruf Week as a committee. So every time it's going to be new experience, going to be new trouble, quote unquote, and new memories with certain people. So there are one time too, I hold the position of the program manager, and at that time it was going to about to rain, and we're going to have a campus tour back in Kuantan. So at that time, how can we maneuver at the same time we deliver the objectives of the objective of the outfit itself. Apart from that, I also become the member of IIM Student Union, right? So right now, the stakeholder from the Gompa itself, we have around 3,000 students. So most of the time, how can we achieve the objectives and just to bring impact to the people? And I think another challenging time would be when it comes to participating in a lot of things, the time you spend for your family and your friends is really low. And I would say that I hardly go back. Not that my home is far away, and gladly that I had that my family is really understanding. It's just that the notion that you think for yourself, have I done my responsibility well as a son to my family, as a brother to my sister? Have I done my responsibility to do as a good friend? And I think in those situations where you are pertaining with a lot of things and academic is still the main priority in the family, I kind of kind of stuck in certain situation. Nevertheless, I learned that in the time where it is most challenging, when in times that it is so difficult for you to see the light at the end of the tunnel, or like to see a way out even, you have to believe in yourself and that take that leap of faith to make a decision. So in every decision, it's going to be good, it's going to be bad. So if the decision is bad or partially bad or even so, there's always room to make an error, and it's okay to make mistake. So the concept of making mistake, I think it applies to every field. And even when you make mistake, it is really important for you to apologize because it really shows what person you are, and it reflects what values that you bring into the team. So among the challenging times is spread out across my CFS life would be the ability to make time. to what matters. My family, even make time for me to eat, make time for me to sleep and everything. But one thing that I truly like appreciate being in a position like this, being thrown out the apa, thrown in the experience, everything. I'm being forced to improvise and adapt with the situation. That is something that the skills that I learned on the job indirectly, and most importantly, in this dire times, especially in this pandemic, I realized that there are so many people that supports you along the way, be it your staff, lecturers, mentors, your family, your friends. So these are the kind of people that makes the challenging times more endurable and more worth for you to fight for. And in the end, is to be fight for their own, for my own interest and for their own interest too. So my point, challenging time and decision, I think it comes with the position or stage where you are in life. So if you are being given a higher chance, a higher step, higher stage in life, then your ujian or your challenge is going to be at that level. So in the end, you all know that with the Allah mentioned that in the Quran, la yukallifullahu nafsan illa wus'aha, right? So in the end, you will be tested according to what is in accordance with your ability. So always trust that you are being in that position to do well, and Allah knows that you can do well anyhow. So yeah, that's right. Wrap it up lah.
Yes, Brother Zaim. So as for me, the most challenging time for me is the ability to manage my time because there are a lot of things. I also have a position in CFS. I'm also the one of the student coordination committee. So just like Madam said just now, I'm one of the frontliner during the third semester and first semester and third semester. So it's kind of there are a lot of things to think with our studies and a lot of things to think with our position because we have the position. So we have it kind of obligation for us to manage our time properly. And why I said that we have to start it here, because when we came out from the university, I'm in the economics and management science, and I study account. So when we came out from the university, when we want to be an accountant, they will not ask us what is debit, what is credit, but they will look up on us on our leadership skills, on how we want to solve the problem, on on our type of thinking, on how we want to create the situation, we want to create the surrounding. So next, Madam Nur Hafiza, how about you? Is there any challenges, the more challenges time that you face during your study?
Okay, thank you, Radikai. I think I can really relate with what is Zaim. I can conclude all of the most challenging time in one word. It is dealing with our own emotion. We are not an empty vessel. We are not an object. We are a human being. So in most of the time, the emotion will be very overwhelming for us. If you watch on YouTube, if you search on YouTube, convocation of IIUM, you will hear one beautiful salawat. So that salawat is specially made for that nasheed is specially made for the convocation of IIUM. And you can see that all the graduates will cry. Okay, they will cry their eyes out. Why? Because it's not the scroll that is most important. That is the story behind the scroll. It's all tears and joys and all of the emotions there. Let me share you a bit of my emotional journey in CFSIUM. It started as early as Ta'aruf week. Okay, so I mentioned before, I thought I love law, but unfortunately, it turns out that it didn't work out. I didn't find joy in law class, okay? And what I realized is, I'm very fortunate, Alhamdulillah, I'm very grateful because I found what is my passion, which is I really love mathematics, okay? If I even bought a scientific calculator to CFS at that time. But I don't know why I bought the calculator because I'm taking law, you know, we don't have any calculation subject. But after I entered the law class, so I realized that my passion is not in law. So it's a huge thing for me because I miss the changing of program. We have right now in Ta'arif, you have changing of program period, right? But I miss that. So the next journey is the emotional journey of climbing the stairs to Odal and asked to change course, even though the period, I missed the period. So they asked me, why you didn't change the course during the changing of period, changing of program period? So I just bluntly replied, I didn't know I didn't love law. When I entered the class, only then I knew. Okay, so it's a very emotional journey for me. That's the first thing. The second thing is, as I mentioned before, my family didn't want to send their children to boarding school. So when I entered CFS IIUM back then in Petaling Jaya in KL, and my family was way back in Sabah. So there comes the homesick. Okay, at the airport dah banjir dah, gitulah. Okay, so it's a very emotional journey for me. I know I'm coming to KL to seek knowledge, to further my study, but the homesick still kick in. Number 3, I cannot help to feel lonely. Okay, because I see that most of my friends already have their own clique, already have their own friends from their school. Back then, I learned that IIUM is very famous, especially among Islamic school. So majority of the students came from Islamic school and they have their own clique, they have their own gang. Okay, so there was me alone and didn't have any friend. I didn't have any of my schoolmates from SMK St. Patrick there. So yes, it's a bit emotional for me. And number 4, I cannot help to feeling helpless. Because as I mentioned before, one of my passion is in debate. Okay, and we need to remember that that is the one of the reason that I want to enter CFS IIUM. However, in my state of dealing with the emotion, with the changing course, with the homesick and so on, when I entered the debate club, they have debate club, I didn't find my joy there. I think that this is not for me, and I don't know why I feel like that, because I thought this is my journey. I will become the best debater in IIUM, you know. So I think all of the dreams crumbled down at that time. So what I did was, Alhamdulillah, I got to encounter all of the problems. What I did is very simple. So this is the point that I want to deliver today. What I did was, I just opened up my problem. I didn't keep it inside. I opened up to my most trusted person in the world, which is at that moment was my parents. Okay, so I opened up to my parents. I spit out all the problems. I told them about my problems and I got a huge support from them. My parents came from Sabah, they flew to KL and they brought me to the most precious time that I think that is the most blessed place that Allah created for me, which is the guidance and counseling. Okay, I know that after this you have session of counseling, and I hope that you will enjoy the talk, because as much as what the emotional roller coaster that I have encountered, Alhamdulillah, the guidance and counseling really helped me back then. Alhamdulillah. Even back then, I was crying. For your information, I was crying due to homesick for 3 months. One semester is 4 months, and I'm crying for 3 months. Okay, so basically, my parents is my huge supports. The counselors are my huge supports. And back then, when I have encountered my problem, the counselor even asked me to give a sharing session with other students who have problem at that time. So Alhamdulillah, I think that is one of the most important lesson, which is do not just depend on ourselves. Okay, Do not depend on ourselves. Allah created all of this beautiful person around us to help us in all of the time, not only the time of joy, but also in the depressing time. Okay, so don't be afraid to seek help. And apart from the journey that I thought I will become a debater, but I'm not, I learned that people change and we change also. Okay, not only the people around us, but we also change. So don't be afraid. If today you love something, but tomorrow you are not loving that thing, maybe your passion change. Okay, so it's okay to learn and explore a lot of things. And don't be too strict with your life. Enjoy your life and be flexible. Be friendly, make friends with a lot of people. So since I didn't have my own clique at that time, I made friends with everybody from all of the courses. So whenever I go, I can learn from someone, even the gardener itself, even a makcik cleaner, even pak guard, mak guard, you know, we can learn a lot of things from all the people around us. And please realize something, that we are not helping people, we are not doing good to people so that they will be good to us. No, that is wrong mindset. Okay, if you have that mindset, you'll be very depressed if you're in problem, but people did not help you. We want to help people, we want to be good to people, because we know Allah will help us in our most difficult time. Okay, so that is the lesson that I learned along my way. It's a very roller coaster emotion, and I hope you can prepare yourself, because I think this is the journey. It's not the end of the journey. It's what's the journey that you go through. It's not the scroll, it's the story behind the scroll. Okay, that's all from me.
Yes, I agree with you, madam. It is true. The biggest thing is we deal with our emotion, right? Because we know, as for me, where we have the position, we have the responsibility for our studies, it's kind of stressful to manage our time properly. And besides that, for me, at the end of the semester, and I actually is love in account. But at the end of semester, suddenly I changed my passion to the economy. And from that, we know that our passion is kind of, we cannot set it up during the secondary school. But in our life here in the university, we can find it. And furthermore, why I said that it's kind of dealing with our emotion, because in university we cannot be alone. We have to make friends, just like madam said. We have to make friends. We cannot sit in our mahalah room, our own room. We cannot sit there. We have to find something new. We, just like brother Zaim said, we have to create the new version of ourselves. But we know in the last year, 2020 and 2021 session, the students only stayed in CFS for just one semester, But I experienced it until the last semester, because I returned back to CFS. And from that, I learned it that we cannot survive ourselves. We cannot survive without our friends, because they also have us in creating, in achieve our dream, in achieve what we, any kind of dream that we want. Because madam said as well, we create the surrounding, we be friendly to anyone, makcik guard, makcik cleaner, the staff also. And from that, we learn it to communicate with other people, because just like I said before, leadership skills is include the communication skills, thinking skills, and some other elements that we really need to train in ourselves. And next, I would like to ask Brother Zaim, would you mind to share with us 2 things that you wish someone would tell you before you enter the university life?
Two things. I try to make it short. If possible, if lah, 2 things. I think the first point would be, as I mentioned earlier, is always to start new, or if it's new, it's a better version of you. And I would like to point out what my professor, my computer law professor mentioned to me, that she mentions during her interview for the new students coming into law last semester. She said that you guys have to bear in mind that past success does not guarantee your future. So your future could be your success, your involvement in everything. So you might have it quite work out during your secondary school, your primary school, or even colleges, or whatever level of education that you went to. But coming into university, like especially in IIM, especially in the pandemic, especially in online mode, especially everything too, you have to be ready with many things. You have to plan out. You have if the plan works, but if there's changes, then you have to like improvise and adapt to change. And speaking about change, change is something that not everyone has the means, capacity, and opportunity to follow the changes. For some people, they would take much time to follow the changes or even to create new changes. And I believe that in relation to the creating the best version of uni, it has to be coupled with many things. First would be the strong sense of support, be it from your friends, your family, your past teachers, lecturers. And I think speaking about lecturers and staff ni kan, like Madam mentioned just now, it is really important to just engage with people around, because these kind of people that indirectly they will pray for you and they will show yourself what are the things that you're lacking about. And speaking about starting new change ni, my practical part would be you went to like 4 years or 5 years in secondary school, right? Or like lah, other level of education. So throughout the 4 years too, you just evaluate and analyze yourself. Who I am, what I've done for 4 years, have I done something, have I done this? And in the end, you ask yourself, do I want to continue to be this version of myself? If you don't want to be, then the sure next step is to change lah, betul tak? The right thing to do. But if you before you make that change, you need not to leave everything behind. There's some parts of your life previously too you can truly benefit and bring into this new version of you. And trust me, speaking about change, speaking about making the best version of you, it is a lonely journey. It is a really lonely journey lah. I would say, like, I think if I would like to share, uh, I spent like 3 to 4 years building this profile of me on IG or whenever I meet people with whatever first impression they had to me. But the backstory that they didn't know that I suffered a lot. I suffered where not all tears are showed publicly, but that's just the part and parcel of life. And in the end, you just have yourself to count on lah. Despite you having strong support, strong purpose, and when you just sleep at the end of the day, you just ask yourself, have I done something today? And it does not need to be many great things, big things like show publicity. No, even if you just bring some happiness to certain people, then that's could be enough. And in the end, I believe the ability for you to realize, or for us to realize our own worth, is paramount. Okay, so I think that's the first one. So just start a new version of yourself, evaluate the 4 to 5 years you've been in your life. So let's say right now you're 18, 19, or 20. You just skim through the last 5 years. How have I been? How is my life is? Okay. Second part, what I think that people coming to university that people should told me. I believe that this generation that coming into university in such an unprecedented times, it comes with the many challenges, family challenges, study challenges, emotional challenges, mental health, depression, anxiety, everything. And for some people, for me, I think it's quite not productive and rational for us to enter in something that I believe that most of us are not ready. Even I myself, in certain things, can I truly excel in certain things? Like, can I truly, wow, that look at that people, can I be like that guy or that girl? So it kind of gives like a false hope, and in the end, it will turn down your motivation to exceed further. But when it comes like personally, okay, I would like to share my own experience. Like, being an active student, yeah, you have perks and everything, but it left me with a quite severe mental health condition, I would say. And it stems from And when I did some digging and my investigation, everything too, it comes from my secondary school. So I believe that, oh, among the 10% I say that I bring into my new version of myself, it also consists of that, the emotional baggage, the challenges here and there. And the one thing that kind of pushed me through, although that I'm not really pushed exceeding well, I guess, is that the ability for you to reach out and seek help. Lah. And I believe that, I strongly believe, when you want to seek help and reach out, the first time will fail. Confirm. I can guarantee you the first time will fail because it's an introductory one for you to get to know and adapt to the situation. However, there also one, two, three, four, five. So it's just the process of believing that trusting the process is really important and accept the whatever emotional baggage that you guys are bringing into your foundation life. You coming into class later on with the family issues, not having conducive environment, the academic and accessibilities. So before I think before starting your class lah, at least you have to shape, you write down, okay, what are my preparations right now, your strengths, your the SWOT, the strength, weaknesses, opportunities, so that in foundation life you can excel better, and perhaps when the life is could turn to normal, you can come back to campus and live the true essence, the activism on campus. You know you have prepared yourself. So I think the third one would be something that people should tell me. Fame is not everything lah. Fame is not everything. Money is not everything. Popularity is not everything. But it's how you manage the means, being in such position to contribute to the people. So the first one would be start the best version of yourself. Evaluate yourself. Very, very much important. Second, if you have an existing mental health condition or whatever challenges that you have back home, whatever, you have to address it. And I do pray very much that every one of you do seek help. Because right now, being online, you just have to think for yourself. It's just hard to just think for yourself, but it's just how the way it is. And third would be, if you're in a position like me or future, fame is not everything. And everything that we do will be accountable to Allah. So yeah, that's pretty much it lah. I'm done. All right.
Thank you, Brother Zaim. So I agree. Honestly, I do not have anything that I wish to be told to me. But when I entered CFS, there's something that I asked my senior, which is it difficult? Is it difficult to be in CFS? And from that, I learned that, just like Brother Zaim said, we can believe that our Excel pass will be continuing until the end of our studies. It doesn't true at all, because what I always bear in my mind is I cannot look down on other people, because we know they might be fail in their past, but at the end they can be the most successful person in the world. It is not impossible for them to make it, and that's why it is very important for us to make sure that we dealing with all kind of challenges, our emotions, our problem with family, our problem with finance, because we know the most problem that students encounter today is about the mental health. It is true, because the most problem is because they cannot manage it well, and that's why we need to find our friends, we need to consult with the counselor, we have to open up our heart, open up our mind, and tell it with the one that we believe and the one that can help us in solving our problem. And how about you, Madam Nur Hafiza? 2 things that you wish someone would tell you before you enter the university.
Okay, Bismillah. Let me answer this. Before that, I want to apologize if whatever that I mentioned, I deliver after this, dia akan menghancurkan mimpi indah you. Okay, so I would like to apologize first. All right, the first one, I wish someone told me that seeking knowledge is a jihad. Yes, we know that seeking knowledge is a jihad. We know that Allah will bless us, will reward us if we seek knowledge. But no one really told me that this is not an easy journey. Okay, sorry ya kalau ada orang yang already told you, oh, it's okay, you pass your SPM, oh, for sure you'll pass your university level. No, it's not the same. So I really agree with Brother Zaim just now. He mentioned something really important. Past success will not define your future success. It is not the same with what you have encountered before. Okay, so I really wish someone have told me this before. I thought it was the same. I thought when my lecturer teach me, when my lecturer mentioned the fact of zoom terus masuk kepala, I thought it was something like that, because in secondary school sometimes we are like that, right? We can catch up easily. And I thought that I'm good with studying alone, because my study style is studying alone. Okay, I cannot mix with other people. I need to stay on my own and study. And I thought I can study last minute all this while. Okay, biasalah last tu baca zoom masuk apa keluarkan masa exam. I thought the thing will remain the same. No, unfortunately not. Okay, why? Because university system is not the same with your secondary system. Okay, in your secondary school, in your SPM, that was the latest exam that you took, right? Okay, in your SPM, that is summative assessment. Okay, so in assessment, what's the meaning of summative assessment? In SPM, it didn't count the marks from your midterm exam. It didn't count the mark from your final of the year exam. It's just one sitting, and whatever you answer at that time, that will be your mark, right? Unfortunately, when you have entered CFS and you will further your study and degree, that is not the case. In university, we have formative assessment, okay? So all of you have encountered the department briefing before, I believe. Okay, and each of your head department already mentioned to you about carry mark. What's the important thing about carry mark? Carry mark is the life of all of the students, okay? Because all your marks will be formative. Your first test will be counted, your second test will be counted, your midterm test will be counted, and as well as the final one, the final exam. So there's no such thing as study last minute. There's no such thing as chapter 1, I'm a bit rajin. Okay, so I want to study chapter 1. Chapter 2, I want to be a bit relaxed. Furthermore, this is Olympic session. I want just to watch the Olympic. Third chapter, during the mid-semester, I want to do well, and by the fourth chapter, I want to be relaxed a bit, or cannot. That is not how the ways work, okay? So university teach us to be consistent. That is how we should live our life starting from today. Okay, I really wish someone had told me this before. Unfortunately, I learned it through the hard way. And I hope that with whatever I'm saying today, you will get the point, all right? So seeking knowledge is a jihad. It's totally a jihad. It's not a bed of roses. Dia bukan hamparan-hamparan indah di hadapan kita. Ada air mata, ada tangisan, there's joy in it, okay? So it's up to us how we want to encounter this journey. All right, but I do realize that Allah will test us within our capacity. Okay, so just take things slowly. If whatever problems that you have, difficulty that you have, so just bear in mind that Allah will not test us beyond our limits. Okay, there must be a reason, a hikmah for a problem to happen. Whether you can see the hikmah or not is another story. We just need to yakin. Okay, and redha whatever the problem and difficulty that we encounter, and it's up to us on how we want to encounter it. Okay, so it's like right now I can tell the story to all of you and I can just laugh it off, but when I was once your age, you sekarang apa, 18, 17, 18 kan, so when I was in your age, Maybe I also thought, oh, this is the end of the world. I will not survive this. Okay. But one day, if you keep your perseverance, you keep your passion, one day you'll be like me. You will look back at all this bad experience and you just can laugh it off. Okay, and another one, since Brother Kai asked for two advice, so another advice that I wish someone told me before is to appreciate each moment. Okay, I heard it before, appreciate each moment. Ingat 5 perkara sebelum 5 perkara. We heard it before, but we never internalize that thing, you know. Kita tak pernah macam menghayati benda tu unless we encounter it. Okay, so in Surah Ibrahim verses 7, Allah mentioned, if you are grateful, certainly I will add more. How to become grateful? Macam mana nak bersyukur ni, gratitude ni? Okay, first of all, let me mention your current situation. Tahu kan? Okay, you might mention that Tawhid is so stressful. It took my time a lot. Why we need to encounter all this? Let me share with you my experience of Tawhid. Okay, so our Tawhid started from Qiyamul Layl. It's 4 in the morning. Okay, and it ends until 12 midnight. Why? Why we have a very long schedule? Actually, the schedule on paper is very convenient. Nampak macam alah kacang kan? It's like your schedule, right? It's very convenient, you see. Okay, but why do we stretch the long hour until 12 midnight? Because we need to practice singing the song. I see that you are scheduled to practice singing the song after the counseling session of this. I think it's just 1 hour, 1 hour and a half. We did it every night. We cannot be released until the committee is, until he is berpuas hati dengan tahap nyanyian amato-amato ni. Okay, so that was our experience. And for your information, we have batik shirt. All of us were given batik clothes. All right, so the brothers will got kemeja, okay, a shirt, and sisters we got macam baju labu lah, macam baju kurung kan. We need to wear it every day. Mind you, it's from 4 a.m. until 12 a.m. every day. We need to wear the same batik shirt. So it's up to you whether you want to repeat wearing it. It's up to you if you want to wash it at 12 and you put it under the fan and you wish it will be dry enough for you to wear at 4. Okay, it's up to you how you want to survive. It's the survival of the fittest. Okay, so that was my ta'aruf journey. So if you don't want to compare with me, it's okay, because some of the counselors, some of the motivators say do not compare yourself with others. Dan dia kata, yelah zaman mak dulu susah, tok nek apa, zaman mak dulu dah jalan 10 batu, korang sekarang senang. Okay, don't compare. Okay, please don't compare. Just compare with your friends. Please compare your condition now with your friends who didn't enter any university. They wish that they are at your place. They wish they are encountering Ta'aruf Week like all of you. So at that point, please be grateful with whatever we have at that moment. Allah is preparing you for something. Okay, and number 2, I think this maybe cross your mind at least once. I think maybe you think that I'm so bored with online class. I'm so bored staying at home. Please do istighfar now. Astaghfirullah. Please ask Brother Zaim. He's stuck on campus for how many months? Okay, MKN didn't allow students to go back, right? So Brother Zaim was among the students who are stuck on campus. Please ask him what is his feelings. Okay, so please be grateful with whatever you have. You have parents, you have siblings. Even though sometimes you feel very difficult to focus on your online class, but please be very grateful because you are with your family right now and you are healthy. Your family is healthy, okay? Because this is the opportunity that Allah gives you to serve your parents. There's a hadith that say, the best among you are those who are the best to your family. Okay, this is the time untuk you berbakti kepada family you. Those of you who are from boarding school, Kan, Form 1 dah masuk boarding school, you tak pernah ada masa nak berbakti pada bapa macam sekarang. This is the time that Allah have prepared you. So jangan merungut. You can never compare the experience that you have with your parents sekarang, and then kita akan menyesal bila one day our parents is not there. Kita akan menyesal bila one day our family is not there. Okay, you boleh compare experience dengan kawan-kawan yang maybe dah kehilangan ibu bapa. I think they want to change with your spot right now, and they want to do everything that they can with their family right now. So please be grateful. Please love yourself. Take care of your health. This is not the time nak berjaga malam, tidur lepas subuh, miss kelas pukul 8, Masya Allah. That is the most greatest sin, you know. Please take care of your health, yeah. And I rasa you kena start apa ni? Take care in the sense of nak menjaga diri dalam online class ni. Please prepare for a better chair maybe. Okay, sebab you boleh duduk kat tempat yang selesa for your online class. And for those of you who wearing glasses, maybe you punya birthday tahun ni, you boleh minta nak tukar spek baru daripada minta benda mengarut. You tukar spek baru, dia ni Blu-ray, purple ray. Sekarang dah ada higher level lah, dan Blu-ray purple ray. So dia akan ni lah, tapis lah yang tak elok-elok ni kan. Okay, because we need to take care of our health. This is the time for online. So you can invest on mousepad. Okay, padded mousepad, because my students last semester have carpal tunnel syndrome yang kat sini ni, yang sakit ni. Okay, so I don't know, maybe that's from the mouse. Okay, nak pegang-pegang mouse tu, so maybe you can invest on that. Okay, so please do take care of yourself. Okay, thank you. Back to you, Berkai.
Thank you, madam. So when madam said carry mark, so as a student, as a university student, carry mark is our life. When the carry mark is ruined, we can say is hancur hidup aku. When the carry mark is ruined. But is it true? Carry mark is it's consisting of ourselves and the group work team in the group work teams. And what I want to say is the most important when we want to achieve the great carry mark is when we do the discussion. Please participate in that discussion, because we know there are some students, some of my friends that said that some people in their groups did not contribute at all. They didn't do anything at all. It's kind of such a terrible thing for us if we do that, because there are an Arabic quote which is aslih nafsaka yuslih nakan nas, and from that, which is mean be kind to yourself, and the other people will be kind to you, which is mean be kind to yourself, which is you contribute in the discussion, you give it all, you give the idea to your friends, and it is important, especially when you do the assignment, because when you give joy to other people, you get more joy in return. You should give a good thought to happiness that you can give up. So from that, I believe, because when we do not contribute at all, we know that doa orang yang teraniaya itu adalah doa yang makbul, right? So from that, we really need to take it, we need to aware about it, we need to participate, we need to contribute. Anything that maybe it is not much, but we can try it. We can try to solve our problem together with our friends, together with our teams. And lastly, I would like to ask Madam Nur Hafiza, can you give me a reason why IIUM is the best institution for furthering our study, as you also one of the lecturer at the CFS?
Okay, thank you, Brother Kai. I think all the questions from Brother Kai is a bit tricky because he's very specific, you know, give one reason, give two advice. Okay, so it's really specific, so it's very difficult for me to find the best one reason, you know. Can you hear me?
Yes, madam.
Okay, is the line okay?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so Redekai asked, please give one reason why IIUM is the best institution for furthering our study. I cannot give you the answer. Sorry, Brother Kai. Because if you ask me for one reason, I cannot give you only one reason, because wallahu alam, I don't know what's one best reason for each and every individual of these 3,700 students who are watching right now. I don't know what's the plan, what is Allah's plan that put you in this CFS IUM, but I can assure you that whatever it is not by accident. Okay, you are not alive in this world by accident, and wherever you are right now, which is you have entered CFS IUM, is not by accident. There must be a reason why Allah put you here. So it's up to you. It's up to you how you want to live your life. Okay, do you want to take it relaxed? Do you want to continue as what you did in secondary school, which I mentioned to you is not the same anymore? Do you want to just follow the flow? I have one lecturer who really hates anyone who mentioned, tak tahulah, I don't know, I just want to follow the flow. So this lecturer is really mad for anyone who mentioned follow the flow. Why do you need to follow the flow? Only a dead fish will follow the flow. Even an alive fish will swim upstream, you know. They will not follow the flow. So why, of all the creatures, we as a human want to just follow the flow? Please do not follow the flow. Please do not just follow the system and be in the background. No. We need to take our leadership and we need to know what is the purpose that we are created and what is the purpose that Allah have put us here in CFS IUM. Macam Ustazah pula, minta maaf ya, cikgu matematik. Okay, last one. Please set your niat straight. Okay, innama a'malu binniyat. Please, whatever you do, please set your niat straight, and whatever difficulties that come of that, please try to solve it collectively. Okay, shura. As far as I remember, I never, jaranglah I buat keputusan sendiri. Okay, I always consult my parents, consult lecturers, consult counselors, consult all of our trusted friends whenever we have problem, because sometimes we are not in our straight minds. Sometimes our emotion have I don't know, maybe our emotion blind ourselves. Okay, so it's the best if we do shura. Okay, discuss with someone that you trust. All right, and I think one more advice is just take things slowly. Okay, as Rome is not built in a day, so are you. Okay, so just take things slowly. Things will be very overwhelming in the first few weeks, but inshallah, try your best to keep up, communicate with your lecturer. Your lecturer is willing to help you, all right? And one more thing, I want to, okay, this is very important thing. I didn't write it here, okay. One important thing, please be grateful that you are in CFS IIUM. Why? Let me mention this to you. When you enter CFS IIUM, one of your leg is already in the main campus of IIUM. If you are an economic student as Brother Kai, you know that your future will be in IIUM Gombak, taking kuliah of economics. If you are a law student, you know that your future will be in kuliah of law, Ahmad Ibrahim, kuliah of law in IIUM Gombak. If you are an RCom student, NCom student, you know that your future will be in degree of RCom, degree of NCom in IIUM Pago. If you are a science physical student like me before, you will know that one of your leg is already in kuliah of science, IIUM Kuantan. Why you need to be grateful because of this? Because for your information, your friends who entered matriculation center, KPM matriculation center, they didn't know what is their future. They didn't know what is the course of degree that they will take. Bachelor of apa? Tak tahu. Kenapa tak tahu? Because after they finish their KPM, their matriculation center, they need to fill in UPU as what you did before. They need to fill in another UPU, and they need to challenge with all of the students yang apply UPU to get a spot in degree. Okay, asasi UiTM. Asasi UiTM. I just confirmed this. I tahu, tapi I just reconfirmed this morning with my friends who is a lecturer there. She said, yes, UiTM students need to fill in. Asasi UiTM students need to fill in again UPU. And they need to choose the university, they need to choose the course, and they didn't know which one akan sangkut. Dia tak tahu future degree of apa, tak tahu. UM, asasi UM. Sebelah kaki dia tak wajib pun masuk UM. Tak. They need to challenge with other students juga. Sekali dengan student STPM, sekali dengan student matrix. So kalau you tak grateful, I tak tahu nikmat apa lagi you nak Allah dah bagi you semua ni. Okay, so that is the most special fact about CFS IUM, that you are, I tak cakap guaranteed lah. Yes, you are guaranteed dengan syarat you lepaslah requirement. Some courses, the requirement is 2.5. Some courses, requirement is 3.0. Tapi takkanlah disebabkan requirement 2.5. Takkan cita-cita you 2.5 tu kan? Of course, you need to aim for the best. Okay, so I think that is the most excellent reason why IUM is the most best institution. Tapi ultimately, Allah have put you here. So this is His plan. All right. And one more thing I nak pesan for all of you, make sure you check for zakat or yayasan at each of your state. Okay. As I know, zakat Penang ada bagi student kalau dapat asasi dapat 600, and then yayasan Melaka, yayasan Pahang, yayasan Selangor. Okay, so please don't lose this opportunity because you are given the privilege, so apply for it dan gunalah wang tu ke arah kesihatan mata, badan, pinggang and so on. Okay, that's all. Thank you, Radhika.
Thank you, Madam Hafiza. So how about Brother Zaim? What do you think? Why IIUM is the best institution, as you are an ex-student of CFS IIUM and currently furthering in ICOL, right? So can you tell us?
Okay, thank you, our STMC. First and foremost, I concur with Madam Hafiza's point. However, I would like to bring it to reality lah. Being a student that has not been graduated, and I'm trying to put myself in the position of a new intake student that still struggling to understand what is IUM. Even you go through the Ta'aruf week, you still like, what is this? Like, why do we have to follow? Why do we have to do certain things? Why is there so much usra, but there's so, okay. The comment I get, why it is too Islamic. Just to be real with you guys, why it's too Islamic? Because I'm trying to provide some space for those that is non-Islamic religious school and not from Malaysia. I believe that coming to IUM, there's a higher responsibility. Okay, something that I just realized that coming into Gombak, that something that is truly relate with my akidah, my belief, my how I want to live my Muslim life, and how I want to operate myself, or how I want to live in this world. And being a Muslim, especially in the Islamic university, all eyes are on you. Okay. The moment that you step into CFS IIM, people, the first thing that people say, oh, IIM, oh, you can do tazkirah, right? You can read maksud, right? You can do everything. You can do solat, everything. But the reality is, there is a majority, I would say lah, being a, okay, just a disclaimer. I'm saying all of this is because it's throughout my 4-year experience, real lifetime, my own circle and everything, okay? There are many students that I would not say fail, but struggle in their daily solat, even the basic things like fardu ain, fardu kifayah. It's a sad reality, but we have to accept this reality that happening even in Islamic university, even in Islamic institution. And something that is quite taboo, I would say, is being a progress Muslim, progress practicing Muslim in the Islamic institution, coming from whatever background that you come from. Apart from people see you're Islamic on the outside, in the inside, you are still struggling with your akidah, where in many issues, especially being a law student, you are you are always like being related with the liberal stuff or not following the Al-Quran and Sunnah and everything. And to a certain extent, not to the law, but to some people that coming from non-religiously, that is our reality lah. We come to Islam University, somehow we don't find our solace, we don't find our place here, and then we in the end we still force. And being a progressive Muslim ni, especially in Islam University ni, you have to understand that you're being put here for a reason, for whatever reason that you will may or may not encounter during your lifetime or during your study in IUM. And if you have entered, if you have known about the vision and mission of the university, which is the Islamization, integration, internationalization, comprehensive excellence, everything too, here comes my point about the best of IUM, I would say, for me. And I would like to attempt to that question, to answer that question. For me, there is an overflowing of opportunities to seek knowledge, to engage, especially with international students. Profoundly, being an IIM student union, I have the much opportunities to engage with international students, something that I have not been able to direct access during my CFS time. And it's something that is really golden now for everyone, especially to get to know them, have a chat, have a coffee and everything. So overflowing of activities, like in Gombak, we have more than 160 clubs and societies that caters to many clubs, many target groups, international and abroad, orang asli, Aboriginal people, disabled communities, you name it, we have it all. Trust me. And our achievements is by far among the best in Malaysia, among the best in the world. And with all of that, I know we all keep on saying big things, but in the end, it all boils down to the individual responsibility itself, which relates to our own akidah and being a Muslim at large lah. And being an Islamic institution, you cannot run. That's a fact that I have come to peace for not quite recently lah, for past 3 years, especially in the IUM. I feel like okay, I'm here. I cannot change things, you know. So what can I do? So in that line of thinking, instead of being in constant denial of many things, why I'm here. So you just accept the fact and attempt to be an Islamic student or but even an IIM student first lah. And yet challenges is different from everyone. It's valid for sure. So when you're here, the best reason I would be there's an overflowing of opportunities lah. You go here, you can there's pretty much everything. Like coming to Gombak, like we have swimming skills, you have sewing skill, we have cooking skills. But that's in main Gombak lah. But in CFS IOM itself, the ready-made courses, the ready-made syllabus is already preparing you for what you're going to experience in IIM Gombak, especially. I cannot say much about other campuses because I've only been there for a few months, but that's my point lah. And I've come to terms that the best reason is not is quite shifting lah for me. It differs from one time to another, but one thing for sure, the best reason for me being here is because I'm here because Allah put me here. Even initially had some drawbacks lah when I'm being here, but nevertheless, the best reason is whatever that the reason that you feel believe that God is being God that Allah or God put you in this position. All right, back to you.
Thank you, Brother Zaim. I agree with you that whether we are come from Islamic school or non-Islamic school, we need to keep practicing the religious, the Islamic nature in ourselves, because we as a Muslim, we need to learn until the end of our life. So that is the last question for both of our speakers today, Brother Zaim and Muhammad and Madam Nur Hafiza. And I would like to remind all the students to fill out the attendance form in the YouTube comment section.
Okay, so like we're going to answer all it together, or we're going to answer with
We are running out of time, man. Okay. So we will just choose about 4 or 5. So the first question is: getting into Dean's list worth it? So, Brother Zaim, as you have the position, right? The student union and president. As I know, you're the president of the student coordination committee, right? So, what is your answer?
Okay, for your first question, to give an ease to those that pursue academic excellence, yes, it's worth it. Trust me, you have an excellence record. People in the industry will get apa tu memang people will hire you first lah. You're in the top 10, I would say, in any industry, in any field. Okay, so academic excellence, it's really important. Getting dean's list is a dream, which is something that I have yet to achieve, honestly speaking, because I relate to the notion that I understand where I came from, so I just know to exercise my ability. Nevertheless, this list is something that is highly pursued by everyone, but yeah, you just have to know yourself better and make your time also for other things. Okay, because in the end, academic is not the only thing that will bring you excellence in this life, especially in after graduation. Okay.
Thank you, Brother Zaim. And Madam Nur Hafiza, the second question. How are we going to know our passion if we did not face the subject first? What is your opinion about it on this question?
How are we going to know our passion if we did not face the subject first? I think it's depend on ourselves. If we know that we are passionate in something because we have experienced it, of course we know because we have experienced it. So this is very tricky. We also don't know if we are passionate in one thing or not. Okay, so I hope that any of you who wish to change the program, you already know that that is what you want. Okay, but if you're among those who didn't know what is your passion, it's okay. Just take things slowly. You know that, just bear in mind that if this is not for you, you have one more chance, one more opportunity to change the course again during Ta'aruf Week in Gombak. Okay, in your main campus, whether be it Gombak, Kuantan, or Pago. Okay, you have another opportunity to change the course there. So I read in Telegram official group, but I think I was not able to answer it because some of the students asked a lot of questions like, what if we change from law to medic? What if we change from to a certain subject that we never took it before? So for your information, I have a few friends who realized later that they're not into their field and they change their program last minute. Okay, for example, I have one student who changed, one friend who changed from bioscience to physical science, bioscience, and they take Bachelor of Mathematical Science. So basically, these students didn't have the basic understanding of maths, but she took the challenge because she knew that bio was not for her, and she relearned all of the CFS subject again during the degree life. Okay, so it's not a weird thing if you see something like this. All right, so it's okay, just take your time. Try, if you don't find your passion yet, I believe inshallah, just pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you'll be given the guidance, which is the most what is the passion, what is your actual passion. Okay, because some of us got the privilege to realize it earlier. Some of us didn't realize it until the last minute. All right, and some of you were asking about Bachelor of Education. Okay, for your information, we don't have foundation in education. However, everyone got the opportunity to enter Kuliah of Education. Okay, so during your final semester, semester 3, you are given an announcement if you wish to change to Kuliah of Education. So all students will give the equal opportunity. You can fill in the form, you can go on to interview, and if you pass, you may enter Kuliah of Education during your degree. Okay, so that is another path that you may think about it. All right, so I wish you all the best.
Okay, thank you, Madam Hafiza. And actually, we are running out of time. So that's maybe the last question for this session. And I would like to apologize to all students that asked us on these questions. There are about 12 questions here. And all of these questions, you may get the answer from the next sessions, which is we have the session of Know Your Campus. And from that, you can get the answer on, I see there, how to be a great leader, how to further studies in overseas, and you can get all the answer at the Know Your Campus sessions. So we already reached.
Sorry,
Yes.
can I add something? Just what? Do we have a concluding remark after this?
I don't think so.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, if that's the case, like I think for the question in the chat box and then also YouTube too, you guys can head to my Instagram account lah, Zaimno, so you can just ask me directly over there because there are certain issues, certain questions that I feel they need to answer. So feel free to go to my Instagram account, ZAIM, and you are. All right, that's all.
Okay, so same for me. If you have further question, you can email me. Okay, this is my email. I'm not hesitant to give you my phone number. However, we are live right now in YouTube, so I cannot just give you my number. My email, and you can see my Padlet there. So for all of you who are taking Math 1, you can be my students even though I'm not your lecturer. This is globalization period, so you can learn with me through YouTube. Okay, so feel free to scroll to my Padlet. All right, that's all. Thank you.
So we already reached the end of this session, and we can conclude that it doesn't matter at all what university that we choose, because the most important is it depends on us, on how we manage our life, on how we manage our time. If we really have the eager to achieve our dream, we will really make it happen. And for that, IUM is the best place of institution that can help you to make your dream come true. And I would like to thank Brother Zaib Nur and Madam Nur Hafiza for willing to join us today in this beautiful weekend. So we will adjourn this session with Tasbih Kafarah and Suratul As. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum.